What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor, and after months of revisiting old Wizard of Oz movies, I finally got the chance to go see Wicked Part 1. I took my mother, sisters, and nieces to go see it the day after Thanksgiving, so let's review. So Wicked Part 1 is based on the beloved Broadway play, which is also based on a book, which up until last week I honestly did not know. But it takes place in the Wizard of Oz universe. It's basically a revisionist take on the Wicked Witch and why she is so evil. It also focuses on her relationship with Glinda the Good Witch. They both go to the school to learn magic. And then Elphaba, who is known as the Wicked Witch in the movie, she gets invited to go see Oz in Emerald City, where she has learned a harsh truth. Now, for the past couple of months, I have been revisiting movies related to the Wizard of Oz. I watched the original film in August, The Wiz back in September, Return to Oz back in October for the first time, and earlier this month I watched Oz the Great and Powerful. And now I'm here with Wicked Part 1. But let me also be clear, I have not seen the Broadway play, so I am going into this with a clean slate and not knowing anything related to the Wicked storyline. And for a lot of people, this is probably their first exposure into the Wicked storyline. In the whole, you don't know the whole story about this particular villain trope. It has a hit or miss track record, but I'm willing to give it a shot for the Wizard of Oz. And how do I feel? Well, I really like this, and I honestly cannot wait for part 2. Now, this film is directed by John M. Chu, who has given us Gem and the Holograms. Alright, let me stop. I know I'm being a bit of a dick here. He's made Step Up 2 The Streets, Step Up 3D, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Now You See Me 2, Crazy Rich Asians, which was one of my favorite films of that year, In the Heights. Now, given his experience with already directing musicals and a couple of concert films, he's not a bad choice to bring this play to life. And he really does have a good eye on how to make movie musicals. Not musicals, movie musicals. And I was surprised with how practical most of this movie was. Like, these are actual real sets. The world of Wicked is not only reminiscent of the world of the Wizard of Oz, but it also feels real. John M. Chu did a good job bringing this world to life. Now, I have not heard any of the music from the Wicked play, aside from Defy Gravity, which I've heard snippets of here and there, but otherwise I'm a little unfamiliar with the music. But the music was excellent, and particularly the singers of this film. I mean, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, I already knew they could sing, so you knew they brought it. Ariana Grande plays Glinda the Good Witch, or later on she's known as Glinda the Good Witch, but Ariana Grande, she already knows how to play a bubbly, ditzy person due to her playing Cat on the show Victorious in Sam and Cat, and so she just brought that here, and she's actually funny too. But not only she has to play bubbly and ditzy, but she also has to play a bubbly, ditzy person that has good intentions, but is a little tone deaf at times. And I felt Ariana Grande, she did that excellently for this character. Cynthia Erivo, who I've seen in other things here and there from the past couple of years, this is definitely one of her best performances. And she definitely brought her own take to Elphaba the Witch. And as for Elphaba as a character, I do like this take on the Wicked Witch of the West, because she's basically green, she's different from everybody else. We see that when she first gets there to the school, and also like how basically people are not born wicked. Sometimes circumstances just turns people wicked. We get a look into her family life, the history of how she was conceived, and how she ends up being green. I also like how they developed the friendship between Glinda and Elphaba. First they didn't start out as friends, and then they're forced to be roommates, and then something happens in the movie where Glinda, out of the kindness of her heart, helps Elphaba, and that friendship is formed from there. And side note, the name of the school that they go to is Shiz University. Why is it called that? Hey, don't know, but hey, it's the Wizard of Oz, baby. Michelle Yeoh plays Madame Marble, and while she doesn't have but so much to do in this movie, I felt her role in this movie definitely worked, because she's basically the head of Shiz University, and she takes a liking to Elphaba and how powerful she is. Jeff Goldblum plays the great and powerful Oz, and as far as Oz castings go, this was spot on, because Jeff Goldblum, he's already a likable person, a charismatic person, which is definitely needed to play Oz. And when he does show up in the movie, it's like the movie just took a completely different turn. Jonathan Bailey plays Vero, who also takes a liking into Glinda and Alphaba. I say his role was not as typical as I thought it was going to be. There's also a subplot in this movie that involves animals and a goat who is a teacher that can talk, and in Alphaba, she is a part of that storyline, which I thought worked for her character arc. Now, I mentioned that this movie is called Wicked Part 1, and a lot of people don't know that going into it. I kind of knew it, but yes, this is basically the first part of a larger story. They split the play into two parts, and where this movie ends off is basically where you would go into intermission if you went and saw the play. But overall, I thought this was a nice little setup film for what is supposedly to come in part 2. I don't know what's going to happen in part 2, but this movie really did a good job on making me excited for part 2 and seeing where the story goes. And everybody did an excellent job in this movie. I'm going to give Wicked Part 1 the thumbs up emoji, with a slight chance of it possibly going to a hard eyes emoji once I see part 2. But for right now, by itself, I'm going to give Wicked Part 1 the thumbs up emoji. Thank y'all so much for watching. I have finally seen all of Glicked. Have you seen Wicked Part 1? If so, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and also tell me which one did you think was better, Gladiator 2 or Wicked. This your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.